Hey guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about conscious manifesting and the concept of time. And some of you have been affirming consciously manifesting, say, a specific person. That's very common in my community. And maybe you want the contact or the relationship, or you're dealing with your person, but you feel that they're like just not changing. You're doing all the techniques like affirming, scripting, visualizing, etc. Then wondering, well, where the fuck is it? Why haven't they reached out? Why are they not saying what I want them to say? Why is there a third party for some of you? So I wanted to, talk to you about this. I know that some of you may feel super frustrated and then you keep checking your outer reality and thinking, well, it's not happening, like nothing is moving. I get it. Maybe you wonder, why is it taking so long? Or even, am I wasting my time? Does this manifesting shit even work? So stick with me while I actually break all of this down for you and hopefully answer some questions about why something may be taking so long. And let me explain to you why paying attention to time is actually the trap to you not receiving what you want. I want to reiterate that the key to manifesting is not time, it's your state, that your desire is already materializing from the moment that you affirm for it or you decide that it's yours. And I want to explain to you why you should just persist in that knowing and stop worrying or wavering. As soon as you stop focusing on time, you will see your results much faster. When it comes to conscious manifesting, guys, time is actually an illusion. It ain't nothing but a thing. So, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Talzi. I am a tarot reader, a spiritual and mindset coach. And on this channel, I like to combine tarot manifesting techniques and the universal law of assumption to help you break unconscious patterns, shift outcomes, and get your desired results, specifically in your love life. Firstly, let's talk about why time is an illusion. Time is a third-dimensional human construct. It appears linear because that's how the human, rational, or logic mind organizes experiences. But in truth, when we are understanding that we are consciousness, all possibilities and potential timelines exist simultaneously and in the now. Past, present, and future also exist and overlap. If you think about it, you can go through the fourth dimension or the mind to a memory, or you can access a potential future also through imagination. But all of this is like future, past, present is actually just infinite versions of you existing right now. Quantum physics discusses the many worlds interpretation or theory and the observer effect, which suggests that reality is not fixed, but shaped by consciousness and our own observations. If we really adopt this, along with the universal law of assumption or the mirror principle, then we understand that everything in our outer world in any given moment is a reflection of our state of consciousness, our perceptions, and is also shiftable, changeable, and malleable as we shift states. Therefore, when we talk about time, guys, and conscious manifesting, you do not need to wait for a manifestation because there is no time gap. There is only the now, and everything exists right now in a potential state until observed through consciousness or focus. Imagine a movie reel. The entire film already exists. Anything that you could possibly imagine, but you are directing it and experiencing it frame by frame. Your consciousness acts as the projector, selecting the frame or reality you're perceiving. By persisting in the focus or the state of consciousness or having the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled in the now, you shift to the reality where it is and you project that onto the screen where your preferred reality plays out. So let's talk about why the logical, linear idea of time is never an indication of whether or not you have or can have your manifestation. People often believe that the longer something takes, the less likely it is to happen. But if you can really wrap your head around this when it comes to conscious manifesting, this is kind of ass backwards. Your perception of time and circumstances is an illusion that is potentially connected to one particular state, guys. One state or identity of you that doesn't have what you desire. The perceived passage of time is irrelevant because, as already explained to you, time is a 3D construct and logical interpretation whereas conscious manifesting is not logical. It is your assumption and consciousness or awareness that dictates reality, not the clock. The waiting period only exists if you assume it does. If you believe something takes time, that belief manifests as delay. Your desire is already done. The version of you that has what you want exists now. Creation is finished. You wouldn't even think of or desire something if it didn't already exist. Your desires come from your imagination, which is infinite, your God self. And if you desire something, you are allowed to, or we would even argue you are meant to, experience it. You just need to align with the state or the version of you that already has it. The only thing that determines how fast or slow a manifestation materializes is your state and your level of conviction and sustaining the assumption that you do or don't have it. The moment you select that state or the version of you, you are in the reality or timeline where that is what you will experience. So if you decide that it is done, then it is done. And your 3D reality will and must catch up because your reality reflects your state of being. And living in the end, as we talk about in conscious manifesting, is just embodying that version of you in your imagination that has what you want, or the specific person or version of the connection that you desire. So guys, time does not create or delay manifestations. Only your state of being or your state of consciousness does. Let's talk about the many worlds theory and manifesting. So when we talk about many worlds theory, this proposed interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests that every possible outcome already exists in its own parallel reality. Instead of reality being only one linear timeline or version, we could look at this theory like all versions of you and experiences and versions of anyone in your personal reality are all existing simultaneously. Some versions only slightly different to your present moment and perception or experience, and some wildly different. And a shift in consciousness equates to a shift in timeline, subtle or drastic. Effectively, by shifting your thoughts at any given moment, you've already shifted to another timeline or version of reality. So essentially, we could argue that there are infinite states or versions of you, but your thoughts and focus, what and who you're aware of being, determine which timeline you're on or which version of reality you're experiencing in any given moment. Coming back to the law of assumption, your reality is your mirror. Everything and everyone is you pushed out and must conform to your state or the version that you're embodying or being. Your specific person, therefore, also exists infinite versions dependent on your state and your observations. As your mirror, this means when you shift your state, the version of them you experience shifts too. The version of them who's already with you, loves you, or is committed to you already exists in the infinite quantum field or through a shift in consciousness. When applied to manifesting, every possible version of you, the one who has your desire and the one without it, already exists. States are never fixed. You are constantly shifting, guys, depending on your mood, your thoughts, your assumptions, and you hold different assumptions about different people and different areas of life and way of observing different people and situations, etc. These versions of you are your states of consciousness, who you are identifying as in relation to, like I said, those versions of people, situations, etc. When you select thoughts consciously, you're aligning with a version of you that has what you prefer rather than what you don't prefer. You do not need to create your manifestation. It is already real and it is done in a state of consciousness or reality. There is already a version of you that has it. Simply by getting into the knowing of that is you living in the end. How would you think, feel, and carry yourself? How would you go about your day if you were in your preferred version of you that has your preferred version of your specific person or relationship? Repetition in selecting that version of you is what is the secret sauce in accessing that reality. This is why repetition is the key, and a lot of coaches recommend it because it helps you to sustain that version long enough, or that identity, for that outer reality to catch up and mirror to you what you have been affirming. Your subconscious mind is receiving the instruction that this is the reality you're selecting or plucking out of the quantum field of infinite experiences and delivers it to you. So the repetition of techniques such as affirmations, visualizations, scripting, SATs, etc. are what helps you to embody that state more naturally and more consistently. And your subconscious mind, unlike your logic or rational mind, doesn't give a shit about logic or timing or reason or circumstances. You are instructing it that this is now your version of reality, your story, who you are, and it will deliver this to you. It's what you are projecting, and this is the part of the total movie that you will experience and that will play out. So how this affects manifesting. If we go back to universal law that everything on the outside is a reflection of you, is a projection, and whatever you assume is what manifests, then if you assume your desire is in the future, you remain in a reality where you are always waiting, where it is always coming, but never here. If you assume consistently that it exists right now, you are embodying the version of you where you have it right now and the reality where that is true. The passage of time is just an illusion your mind creates to process change, but really you are always moving between already existing versions of reality or states of being. Your version of your specific person and circumstances shift in accordance with that, not time or logic. So you are always choosing your reality, and every thought is like a train to a different state or reality, or a version of you that holds a preferable assumption or an unpreferable assumption. And so with repetition of thought, your thoughts in relation to a person become your state where you dwell or live, the version of reality you experience, and the version of them that you experience. So let's talk about how fixating on time creates doubt and delays your manifestation. When we understand that we are just pure consciousness and that time is not linear, the past, present, and the future existing simultaneously and overlapping, then you can understand that when you fixate on time or your past perceptions and experiences, you create unnecessary resistance and doubt. It's like you're keeping yourself stuck in one reality or one state where you don't have what you want or where you don't have your preferable end. When you believe something is taking too long, you are unconsciously reaffirming you, one, don't have it, you two might not get it, or that your concept of time, which I've already explained is an illusion, or circumstances, which don't matter, are factors in whether or not it happens. But in reality, you already have your desire. You are simply shifting into the version of you that will experience it or is going to experience it fast. The only reason you don't see it is because you keep reinforcing that you don't have it. If you feel impatient, guys, just become impatient in affirming to yourself and persisting in instructing your subconscious mind or selecting thoughts that you're feeding your subconscious that you have what you want now without checking for evidence. Would you be looking for evidence if you knew that you had it? I've explained in previous videos that your thoughts and assumptions precede what shows up in your 3D reality. And if you would just sustain thoughts or be in the state of your end without wavering or going between states, your manifestation will be reflected and materialize faster than you would even imagine. So the only reason it ever seems like what you want hasn't happened yet is because your mind is still operating from a very limited perspective. I have given the example before and I'll reinforce it. Think of it like a package being delivered. The moment you place the order or assume that it's yours, it exists for you and is there or on the way. If you check the tracking obsessively, doubt the process, and assume it won't come, you create unnecessary stress for yourself. And if we liken that to states of consciousness, you're essentially just shifting back and in and out of versions of you and realities where you have, don't have. Your reality will continue to reinforce where your dominant focus is and what you're assuming. If you trust that it's already here or even on the way, you will get what you want fast and effortlessly. When I say time is not a factor, please don't mistake this as me telling you that you really do need to be very patient or that there even will be a long wait time. You could see instant movement. Your person could show up unexpectedly in a day, conform or say immediately what you've been affirming, or there could be some kind of a bridge of incidents. Example, you go to your favorite coffee shop and they're right there, or they're thinking of you and they phone you after you haven't heard from them in a really long time. Or if you are in contact but you're manifesting a different version of your relationship, then there could be in any moment an unexpected shift in your conversation. Essentially, that would mean that you have shifted into that reality and it's being reflected. If you're in the state of doubting and wondering, or if you're still assuming a person doesn't want you and looking at the time, then reality and your specific person and the perceived circumstances will continue to be reflected in that state. Your manifestation works the same way as you deciding that you ordered the package. Once you assume you have it, it's done. Any lag is just the physical world catching up to your internal shift. This is where the power comes in the I am statement. I am the version of me that has it. I am in the reality where I have it, or even the statement, it is done. In summary, guys, the key is always staying in the state of having and not waiting. Even if there is a small perceived delay, and I say perceived again because the manifestation is instant and there is always movement. There is instant shifting that you can't even conceive through logic or your five senses. But even if there is a perceived delay, the key is not to waver or question or look for evidence or 3D confirmation. Reality on your 3D will and must reflect whatever state you hold dominantly. If you stay firm in the knowing that you already have it, the physical world must always conform and reflect that. Any appearance of waiting is an illusion trying to pull you back into doubt, so don't fall for it. The moment you stop obsessing over the when and fully assume it is done, you shift and stay in the reality where you already have it. The illusion of time only limits you if you believe it does. So I hope that helps, guys. Time is a self-imposed construct. Conscious manifesting does not follow the concept of time, logic, or reason. Circumstances do not matter. Everything exists in the now. We are constantly shifting based on our thoughts and states. Any real delay in manifestation is only dictated by the I am, the version of you you're embodying, aka your state of consciousness. Your desire already exists. It is already yours and accessible. Everything and every possibility already exists. Every possible version of you, your specific person, and any reality you wish to experience exists right now. You are the one who chooses your reality. So fully embody that and stay in the state of being the version of you that has what you want right now. It is done. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you all in the next one.